Roll, bro.
I'm going over.
Oh, you coming over? Okay.
This is going to be presented to Mr. Maceo Hainsworth in appreciation for 36.8 years of service with Darlington County. Yes. Let's do that. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Ready, and 3, 2, 1.
Maceo, we appreciate everything. All right. Call the meeting to order. Invocation of pledge of allegiance. Douglas. Mr. Coker, would you please?
Our Father, which art in heaven, most holy and everlasting Father. Father, we want to thank you, Lord, for last night's rest and a finger touch awaken of blood this moment. And Father God, we just want to thank you, Lord, for starting us on a new day and closing in our right mind. And we asking you today, oh Lord, come in this building. Touch each and every one that has attended today, oh Lord. And Father, we can ask the blessing for the ones that could have attended will not attend. And Father God, we're asking you today to go to the homes, hospitals, wherever the sick is, oh Lord. Father, we're asking you to touch them, oh Lord. Father, we know that you're the one and there is none other. Father, we know that you can pick up, you can put down, and no man can. So Father, we're asking you to touch them, oh Lord. And Father God, we're asking you today, oh Lord, that go with us foreign countries, touch our boys, girls, men, and women. Give them the strength and foresight of seeing us coming home one day. And Father, don't forget about our major government, Washington, D.C. We're asking you to touch them, oh Lord. Straighten that mess out, oh Lord. In your name's sake, amen.
Amen.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, citizen comments. Mr. George Cannon.
I signed first on the line. I was waiting for my associate to fill the roster here, but I my name appeared first. But we still speaking of the problem that we have spoken since 1965 when they done away with the chain gang group, that we're still in existing of help. And we were wondering how, whatever we can do to go through all this process to see what manner that we can go through. That we would like for a representative, if possible, or someone to talk to as a group from my home district to tell us, or lead us, or show us a way that we can feel more at ease than hear lately what's on the news and a lot of racial comments that we can do without in my neighborhood. That we would like to know that we live in Darlington County, not a county that we can listen to all this negative image of the problems that we have at hand. So we can, however, I spoke to the administrator about a couple of us getting together one day. He will let me know when we can sit down and talk with him. And we would like to have 100% from the council as well, that we can make progress without drainage problems we have on the south section of ours. So please, thank you very much.
Thanks, John. Thank you. No personal appearances. Consent agenda. Need a motion?
Move the approval of consent agenda items 5A through 5E.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, ayes have it. Approval of minutes, regular meeting February 4th, 2019. 19.
Move for approval.
Need a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, ayes have it. Minutes of work session, February 18, 2019. Need a motion?
Move to approve.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed, ayes have it. Ordinance 7A. Ordinance number 1901, an ordinance for provide of installment payments of taxable real property within Darlington County pursuant to Title 12, Chapter 45, Section 12, 45, 75 of South Carolina Code of Laws, as amended, first reading. No action taken. 7B, ordinance number 19-02, an ordinance to indefinitely suspend Sunday work prohibitions commonly referred to as blue laws pursuant to Title 53, Chapter 1, Section 53-116 of South Carolina Code of Laws as amended, first reading. No action needed. 7C, ordinance number 19-03, an ordinance to amend ordinance number 18-04, Darlington County FY 18-19 budget ordinance for supplemental appropriation to the lottery fund to receive and expend additional lottery funds and establish the effective date of this ordinance. First reading. No action taken. Resolutions, we have none. Committee reports, none. Other items. 10A, appointment to boards and commissions to fill vacancy, expired terms expire 6/30/19, and attendance pages on 65. Mr. Kilgo.
Carry mine over, please.
Mr. Douglas.
That one's still on it with them.
You want to reappoint?
Yeah.
So he's going to reappoint Ms. Suzanne Campbell.
Need a motion? To reappoint.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Ms. Thomas is not here, we'll carry hers over. Carry over mine.
Carry over.
Mr. Flowers is carry over. Mr. Albert Davis.
Carry over.
Mr. Lewis Brown.
I recommend, I have spoken with Mr. Bob Fishel, who has agreed to serve on the next term. His term expires in June, but he'll, like to reappoint him.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Carry over.
Mr. Coker.
Yeah, I want to reappoint Dick Coker on the Construction Board of Adjustment Appeals. His term is expiring in June, and I'll carry over the other two.
Okay, need a motion?
Motion carry over.
You got Mr. Fishel motion.
Any carry over.
Motion on Dick Coker for Construction Board of Adjustment Appeals.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I want to carry over the other three.
All right, carry over the other three. Council appointments, Economic Development Partnership, Mr. Leo Bonaparte, term expiring 6/30/19.
Move to reappoint Mr. Bonaparte.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, ayes have it. Fire Board, Industrial Park Station 3, Dustin Jordan, term expires 6/30/19. Mechanicsville Station 4, Lucas Reed, term expires 6/30/19. Birdtown Station 12, Justin Colson, term expiring 6/30/19. Need a motion to carry these three over.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we keep these fellows on fire board.
Need a second?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, ayes have it. PD Workforce Development Board, Mr. Richard Connor, term expiring 6/30/19.
We're waiting for a nomination from the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, we'll carry that over.
I mean, is it ready for reappointment or appointment?
Waiting for a nomination from the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, I'm sorry, I just couldn't hear you, apologize.
PD Regional Transportation Authority, James Jackson, term expires 6/30/19. Any recommendations?
Chairman, I make a recommendation to keep Mr. Jackson on.
Second, need a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
10B.
Let me get to that page, please.
What?
Let me go to that
Okay.
page. Give me a second. My understanding, Mr. McFarland does not wish to serve any longer. He's done a wonderful job on the committee. We thank him for that. I nominate Troy Abraham to replace him.
Second.
Any discussions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. 10C, request to amend the accommodation tax procedures as approved by County Council on March 16, 1992, as amended on page 111. Need a motion?
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Request cooperative contract purchase for a dump truck, roads and bridges, $147,210.
Chairman, I make that we accept this, request for this dump truck.
Need a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Bid award for Darlington Library remodeling, $31,750. Need a
Move
motion?
approval.
Need a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, ayes have it. 10F, bid award for Hartsville Library flooring, $75,400. Need a motion?
I make a motion to accept the form for Hartford Library. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, ayes have it.
Mr. Chairman, thought we needed to move up executive session, but business was going so quick.
Whatever you want to do at this point, be fine.
Okay. So there's nothing that's,
No. You can go ahead and proceed on with it.
oh, okay.
All right. 10G, upgrading and maintaining fire EMS 5-site VHF simulcast system to include communication towers and structural communication building. Need a motion?
Move the approval.
Second.
In discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, ayes have it. Comes to you, administrative update.
Very short for you, I want to remind you that next month you have a council meeting, and I believe it's on the front of the packet or agenda packet. By the very end of your agenda, you see that you have your next scheduled meeting, April the 1st, which is a Monday night, and then the following Wednesday, we'll do the budget rollout of the first version of the administrator's proposed budget, and then after that, it'll be up in y'all's hands to make recommended changes or modifications that y'all want to make. So just be aware that those two dates are coming up. We're still gathering lots of data on the courthouse and possible renovations and upgrades in there, so that'll be some time getting all those little pieces together. We'll tell you the law library has been cleared out for the books that were to be disposed of and the ones that people wanted to take or wanted to receive as donations. And so the remaining books that were determined needed to stay and stay current will be moved into a different room. And instead of such a large room for a law library, it'll be a much smaller law library. But they will also maintain access to what's probably the most popular Westlaw
West Hall probably the most
I
popular.
use the stuff in here.
Access to materials that they like to get to. There are a number of ongoing projects. The employees, a number of them expressed appreciation for the banquet that was held this past Saturday night as an employee appreciation banquet. They do enjoy the time, opportunity to get together for a meal and a little camaraderie and some door prizes and a little entertainment. So that went well, and I heard a lot of compliments and thanks to council for allowing that to happen. So that's all I have for you tonight.
Questions, comments, members of council? Gilda?
Thank you. I know all of you got your county news last week, and there was an insert dealing with substance abuse. So I think it's worthwhile for y'all to spend a little time and read through this, because it deals mainly with the opioid crisis and the impact that we're seeing across the country. As to the courthouse, as we move forward, it would seem to me that just as professionals work in the courthouse, we need a professional architect to come in and look at the 4th and 5th floor and do that design work, so that we don't do it haphazard and then we have a problem. I know we got a lot of experts, but an architect, I don't think we've got on staff. And I really think we need to spend some money to get those 2 floors. If we want them done right and coordinated right and get everybody in Columbia happy with it, it's going to be a lot better if we show that we've spent a little bit of money for an architect to do the design, and we've complied with what they've recommended. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know what the rest of the council feels, but that's just my thoughts on it.
You want
Me to say?
to, no, if that's what you want to go ahead and put it on the floor?
Well, I mean, this is a new matter, so it come up, I don't
You
know.
actually already, Michael Baker is an architect engineering firm, so they've already been engaged. We can ask them to scale back the project, the original project they were working on starting years ago, to just a 4th and 5th floor recommendation. But you will pay for schematic drawings and
Well, that's
design
what-
concept drawings and all that kind of stuff, for
Okay,
sure.
I mean, that's what we need. We need to be able to see the architectural rendition so that we can in effect approve what we're doing. And not just, oh, it was done.
No.
And this is not a job for the prison farm to put
No,
together.
no. We'll have to get a bid or a quote from them of what it'll cost and bring that to you, because I know that's gonna be high enough that you're gonna have to approve that as a project.
Okay, well, I just think it's wise. So, that's it, Mr. Chairman.
The only thing going along with what Bobby has said, I do not know what the 4th and 5th floor needs. The main push has been from the court administration, correct, about what they want. So I think before we go too far down the road about how we want to do things, make sure that what we want is going to be what they'll accept or what they will, but I agree that we probably need an outsider to work with the court administration as well as with us to put something together that both parties can be happy with. The other part is I went out to the landfill today, and Lord have mercy, that 2.5 inches of rain on top of 37 inches of rain, and everything is going. It is a mess. So just ask the citizens to be patient, and we're probably looking at money issues with this budget, trying to bring things. It has just been a mess for the last since before the hurricane. I mean, we're looking for about 6 months straight now of almost too wet to work in places.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's keep that in. And there's nothing we can do, and no one's fault. But it's just, weather is what weather is.
Anything else?
No, that's just.
Just to piggyback what you're talking about, the appreciation to employees, and it's good to hear they had a good time. Certainly express appreciation for what they do. I know I ask a lot, sometimes on short notice and always get very prompt and professional responses back to the questions, particularly when constituents ask for things. So appreciation to the sheriff and the department and all of our employees and what Mr. Stewart, you and your staff do. Appreciate your professionalism. So,
Douglas.
Now going back to code. This fourth and fifth floor, that includes the Sally Port going to it?
Does it include a Sally Port?
Yeah. We're gonna have.
We can include part of the, as part of remodeling the fourth and fifth floor,
No.
security for prisoners would have to be considered as well. Because if you're gonna consider the court system, you consider where the prisoners would stay or the pretrial inmates would stay prior to being seen in court.
Using the same elevator.
Well, that's part of what we're looking at is a way to isolate the elevators in the building, put them on priority service so that nobody else can get on and off of them once the officer steps in and takes control of that elevator. I mean, short of that, you're talking about an additional elevator added to the building. That'd be the only way to separate prisoners from riding the elevator with the public. There's some way to isolate the, have a roll down door of some type. And actually, we've had this discussion with Michael Baker as part of their overall remodeling. Is a way to put a roll down door of some type, some sliding door that isolates one elevator off from the other. Ideally, the elevator towards the door by itself, and then you go into a priority service with the elevator once an officer sticks a key in there, not the fire service, but a priority service where they decide where the elevator goes, stays, moves, and that type of stuff until they're done moving a prisoner. They can do the same thing for moving the judge back and forth as well. So those things have been talked about.
Well, I go on the security on that, we need some, somebody to look at that.
That's all?
Yeah.
Davis.
Mr. Chairman, to the citizens of Darlington County, thank you for allowing us to serve you. To the District 6, I am working on some stuff, trying to get some stuff together with me and Mr. Charles. We'll get back with you. We feel your pain. We got farmers that lost a lot during this water, during the past hurricane. They can't harvest, can't get in the field. And you can see this weekend, we still got rain coming. There's a lot of rain, we can't do nothing about it. That's the Lord. With that being said, we just trying to do what we can for you, for all citizens of Darlington County, including the farmers, everybody. You got some people that can't stay in their house because of the hurricane, because they got mold and stuff. FEMA turned them down. There's a lot going on. With that being said, I'm trying to work on something. I hope I can get it on the budget. We do not have a homeless shelter in Darlington County. It's gonna be in the 20s this week. We got people sleeping on the streets outside the road in abandoned houses. And then when somebody called about it, they called the sheriff department. Oh, they in this property. They want them going out. Where they gonna go to? So hopefully I can get that done. I don't know if I'm out of order or what, but hopefully I can get something done. Because the whole county of Darlington County, we do not have a homeless shelter. That's all, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
I got a letter today from Mr. Campbell, Darlington County Farm Bureau president, and I read it and I agree with it. I think we need to. I think we all got it. I think we probably ought to draft a letter asking for help on the water, the flooding issues that farmers have had in our rural county, and I think we ought to have a unified front. We are a rural county, and we need to help these guys the best we can and ask for help from the congressional delegation.
You want to place that in form of a motion?
I do.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, ayes have it.
Also, I want to thank you. I also, Maysha left. I wanted to say something about Maysha before he left, and I hate he did leave, but he touched a lot of lives in 36 years. We'd all be so blessed to touch as many as he did. He's raised a lot of people. That's all I have.
Well, what I want to do now at this time is something very special here. I get the privilege of doing for Mr. Lee Flowers for 25 years of service. And Mr. Kilga, Got one for you too, sir.
Thank you.
Give us our 5 years. Let me tell you, these two put in a lot of hard work. And Lee, probably the most knowledgeable fellow we have on council. He's the go-to man.
Well, because of Jeanette.
And we appreciate Jeanette too. So we appreciate everyone coming tonight. We know that the community's got a lot of problems, like Dave said, Mr. Davis, and we will be working on it. A lot of things to do. And I think we're on the right track of getting it done. But we appreciate you coming out. Hope everybody had a good time that went to the party the other night. It was great. We thank you for all your hard work and stuff that you've done it to anybody that was involved with it. I don't know who all they were, but I'm sure there was Miss Jeanette and Ginger and Terry and probably a few more. But we appreciate it. And that's all I have.
Need an executive session for the insurance. Mr. Chairman, at this time, I move we have an executive session for discussion of personnel matters involving retiree health insurance.
Second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, ayes have it.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I move we go into executive session for discussion of personnel matters involving retiree health insurance. Members of council, county attorney, and our county administrator.
Do we anticipate a vote afterwards? Okay. Second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.